It's the Tiger Sports Live Breakdown Podcast brought to you by Crossbuck Construction Company. Now, here's your hosts, Scott Barrett and Brian Babcock.
Brian Babcock not here today, but in his stead, or at least in the number 2 chair, Jesse Miller, 99 grad. And we welcome James Whitmire, the all-time winningest junior high coach.
Here we go.
In Northwest Ohio, 19 years, 400 wins, 3 losses, and
yes,
part of the 03 football season. We talked about maybe not talking about that, but welcome, James. Good to have you.
Yep, good to be here.
I did spend 4 hours prepping with your dad. He was going through every game you ever played and every game you've ever coached. Pastor Chuck Whitmire knows everything about his son's career. Quick shout out and thank you to Nate Leidy, Crossbuck Construction. Got a chance to talk to him last week on the field after the Tenora game. And just very grateful for his support here. And he's like, don't worry about that. That's easy. Love it. One of the hardest working guys around. And I'll be calling him for a concrete pad here soon. So looking for a discount. I don't know, Mark, if you can swing that for us, feel free. So anyway, week 2, we're going to go over the Tenora game, which unfortunately I think became our 11th straight win, Jesse?
Yeah.
And fourth straight shutout, something like that. You kind of noted that last week. I'm always one to give credit for guys to come up with the locked-in facts, but that was unfortunate for Tenora. There was some other things that went on in that game that probably wasn't all that great. Tenora, I anticipated a little bit more, and there just wasn't a whole lot of resistance from Tenora. But we no longer play them. That's it. I think the contract runs out.
Yep.
Not sure how many total years we played them, Jesse, but it was a 20, 21,
it was,
22?
No, it was more than that. It was Normie and Carey's senior year.
Oh, gosh, they started back in 91.
I remember
91 season,
92
92 season.
It's been
Wow.
35 years, I think, me and Jigs came up with on the air last Friday.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, long time.
Lost track. But, that when that thing first started against Tenora, it was a good one.
Yeah.
And, and then obviously they went on a tremendous run with Kenny Krause.
Yep.
And all good things must come to an end. And Tenora football is certainly searching for an identity over there. But we'll review that a little bit. I do have in block 1, as Fox News might say, an apology Monday that I need to go back and clean up a few messes. I was talking to Jesse and James beforehand. We talked about great running backs at the quarterback position. And Zane Zeider I'd left out of the conversation initially, and I think both Jesse and Brian corrected me quickly, and I'm like, how do you forget Zane Zeider? I did, not intentionally, but I did get credit for coming back around and getting him.
Yep.
But then I got called out by a hardcore alumni about Scotty Overmyer, and how do you not love Scotty Overmyer? He was tremendous. I used to date Jen Overmyer, but then when I'd go over there on a date, I always played sports trivia with Tom for 3 hours, and then Scotty and I would play some rag football, and then I would leave, and Jen was like, who was this date with? Was this with my dad and brother? Love Scotty. And then Jeff Jurasic's, in my view, I do have some bias, as you noted last week. Jeff Jurasic's might be the best quarterback in the modern era, in my opinion. He could throw it 60 yards. He could run it. So we have plenty of good running quarterbacks in this program, and I apologize for not mentioning them all. And then also I missed a center that I love in Charlie Kruger, who basically broke all 3 ankles and played every day, never missed practice, and was very, very good on one of my all-time favorite teams. I coached the 96 team. Any centers I missed I should make any reference to? Talked about Tim Keller. I mean, he's
right. You said Blake.
Number 1. Of course, Blake. You don't miss Blake Lindgren.
Hunter
Spangler is right there with Blake Lindgren as far as I'm concerned. He's 2.0. Charlie Kruger. Any other centers that I forgot that I'd like to apologize for?
Pretty good. In the same mold as Charlie Kruger, maybe 150 pounds. You had Christian Daw.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, James Whitmire.
Yep.
Well, good. I think we need to start thinking about that a little more often because I got whacked over the head for missing a couple great players. So anyway, Apology Monday is over. My apologies to those great Liberty Center players. Let's get into the Tenora game. There wasn't much of one there. 61-0. I'm not going to go through the stats. You guys can read all the numbers you want in every paper. I don't know, a couple things at 14 yards, I think, of rushing yards, 469, 14 total yards, I think. If you start to extract some of the sacks, I think Owen Farrell was 7 for 20 with a paltry 32 yards, 4.57 per catch. Liberty had a 33-point QT. Quarter number two was just not a lot going on in this game. Love the crowd, love all the flag ceremony. That doesn't get any better than that. But more the energy just, unfortunately for me, just didn't hit early.
No.
And I don't know what that was about. I might catch some criticism. I'm sitting there kind of enjoying all the accoutrement, band, cheerleaders, some of the youth players running around, flag ceremony, all the stuff. That game didn't have a lot of juice in it, and then all of a sudden, the second quarter, it kind of picked up a little bit. So we can go through this thing, plenty of storylines, but Jesse, that game just didn't feel like a lot was going on other than we'll get into the explosive plays and players. We knew that was going to happen, but that just did not have a lot of juice for me.
No,
at least early.
Not early, and you thought you were going to get a little bit more
from
Sonora early, and you just
got
didn't.
Nothing.
I mean, even they had a turnover on us early. We were only up 7-0. Thought okay, and then it was just I don't know. And I just feel like also we're just so used and kind of spoiled these last 3 or 4 years that it's.
Dare we use the word complacent? Don't want to say that.
No, I don't think and it's not the players. I think it's more fans than players themselves. I mean, you saw the players. I don't think there was any complacency Friday night from them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. James, you're sitting there watching it. You know all these players. You coach them in junior high. I mean, 19 years is a long time to be coaching. But I did want a little more from Tenora. I kind of thought they could do a little bit more. Mm-hmm. They did nothing. And we kind of played with them a little bit in quarter one. I mean, obviously Ethan Gray does his thing, but what was your impressions on that early part of that game?
Yeah, and talking about the crowd, I was in the end zone, so I was observing it from that way.
I was as well.
Okay,
yeah.
And it just kind of had a business as usual kind of. Yeah, okay, we scored. People stand up and cheer a little bit, but we've grown accustomed to it, and it makes me think of. We're getting there, but some of the Marion locals over the years, how excited do they get over a game until it's third, fourth round of the playoffs, and maybe gets a little tight. Most of the time, not even. But I think it kind of got that way. Players were fired up. They and we had a lot of young guys and stuff figuring some of that out. I think we saw some of that too. But yeah.
Some of the storylines that I was watching the offensive line, and we can talk all day about the big 4 or 5. They all showed up. But I think the two things that we should talk about, in my view, is how the offensive line performed. I've heard the word serviceable. I've heard the word really solid. I've heard the word, at times looked really good. Mm-hmm. And I watched a lot of snaps. I was very interested to watch Mason Talent, Easton Flory, Jack Ward. That was a real big focus for me, just to see how those are replacing the Max
really
Walkers, Hunter
yeah.
Spangler, all-time players. And you don't do that.
No.
You just don't do that. You got to do your best. You got to do what's best, but you're never going to do that. I thought all 3 of those players did pretty well.
I agree with you. They were fine. And the thing is, you're going to have a lot of them are getting their first reps.
Right,
at a varsity level. So, like, week 1, for being week 1, we talked about it last week. Liberty Center's a team that usually gets better as the year goes on.
For sure.
And that's because our line play goes on. It keeps getting better. And when you dominate the line of scrimmage like we have the last 3 or 4 years, I mean, I think the last time I would say, South Range, that one year they beat us. I don't remember ever.
You bring that up all the time.
I know.
It's good, though. It's good. Casey brings that film out. When you get too big for your britches, let's roll that out.
Well, that team was really good, though, too.
Yeah.
All the things. But I thought they did a really nice job, and they're only going to get better, right? You're only going to get better with what you have inside there. And Jack Ward and Talent and, Easton, Jack and Easton, young kids, right? It's a junior and a sophomore that haven't had a lot of – I mean, Ward had a little bit at linebacker last year. Eric threw him a bone, but not a lot.
No.
Okay, so it's going to take a minute, but I thought they did just fine.
I did too.
For their first varsity action. Were they 100 max? No. Are they going to be? I don't know. I mean, we've said 3 years ago, how do you replace Bachman? Well, I'm telling you, we never did.
How do you replace Box? How do you do it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't. We never replaced Landon Bachman. There hasn't been a defensive tackle that good.
Right.
As good as Hunter was and Xander Zeider, none of them were Landon Bachman. I mean, that's a kid running a 4.8, 40, getting triple teamed, beating it. We haven't had that. Still getting a pass rush. But we find kids that are good to do their job and know the role, and I think that's what those boys are going to be this year.
James, I also watched Tate Parasini at that right tackle. Nick and I talked a bit about him, in the preseason a little bit. You've been seeing some nice incremental progress from him, a senior. I also got focused on the next 10 snaps on Brady Badenhop and Tatum Murdoch. Yeah. A lot of guys that got no snaps. I mean, you can sit here and talk about how great our offensive lines have been forever.
Yeah.
Even back into the Tim Spees days, he had great offensive lines. Glenn Small, Jeff Bolton days, and we've had really top end offensive lines, and we never talk about them. I mean, it's so easy to talk about. It's so easy to talk about Garrison Cruz, and he'll get plenty.
Right.
He's got every news outlet in the state of Ohio talking about Garrison Cruz, and he deservingly so.
Correct.
I think he's in the Mr. Football conversation.
I'm with you.
But our offensive line, I think, is going to be what defines us. I mean, I don't know what you think, James, but I was watching these players with no previous snaps, no experience. I like what I saw out there.
Yeah. Tate Persini, you've got a first-year varsity senior. Mason Talent, first-year varsity senior.
Yep.
I mean, that entire right side of the line. If Baden Hopp's at tight end, is first-year varsity guys and stuff. I thought they did pretty well at the point of attack. I was watching them get the downfield blocks, and they were getting there.
They were.
The little swing screen that Isaiah took, Mason Talent was the breaking. He got 12 yards downfield. He was that last. It wasn't a pancake or anything. It was
Just
an
enough.
You don't
extension
have to be.
block.
He doesn't have to be.
And Isaiah showed the wheels and got around it and stuff. So some of that was encouraging,
Well, Tatum Murdoch as well, a junior, a guy that we're looking for big things. Also performed really well. Kellen Weimer and Henry Fitzgerald are going to say, "How about us?" Well, I mean, you know what you're
We
getting.
know.
Those are all district, all Ohio players.
Yeah.
I really like watching Henry. I think
my
he's
gosh.
a dirt dog. I think he's just pulling, banging, moving people. I mean, and he's so. I don't know. When I watch him, my eyes go to him. His energy level is high. He's very quick. He's very technically sound. Jesse, I really thought Kellen played really well too. I mean, he's gonna. But he caved those big runs, all the explosives. He was a huge part of.
Yeah, caving down that whole left side.
Yeah.
I mean, you put him and Henry on the same side, and it's just And I think there's more left from Kellen. Like, he did play well. I'm with you. I think there's more there. I think we're going to get more as the year goes on, especially more so on the defensive end. Offensively, I thought he was really good.
Well, for sure.
People watched the one play where there was a sack. That was the quarterback. That's the quarterback has to step up and make that throw, not keep rolling out. So I mean. Again, a sophomore quarterback will learn, but Kellen played great, and Henry, I'm with you. Like, his feet,
excellent,
are amazing for a kid that
leverage,
and he's low to the ground.
You can't neutralize it, and he doesn't stop either. His motor, boom, boom, boom.
I mean, he replaced Dippy pretty nice at that nose guard position.
I thought Dip had a great year.
Oh. Unsung hero of that team.
Fuentes was
there was nothing happening in the A gap last year with him and Walker.
I don't know how you. Again, I don't want to keep going back to last year's team. We talked about that last week, but how can you not? Sometimes is the standard. Colt Weimer also a young player. Ooh. I think Colt Weimer. I think Tate Persini's won that job, but I think that's a battle. I don't think that's over.
It's not over.
It's a long 16, 17 week, whatever the state's got us playing, 25 week, whatever. It's ridiculous. But I mean, Colton Weimer is also going to be a factor at that right tackle. And you got Colton on one side, and you got Kellen on the other. And if you just sit on the field, and you guys have all done this, you coached them all, but he is a big dude. I mean, he is a big dude, James. Talk about Colton Weimer and talk about that right tackle spot as we'll get on to the explosive players. But I think that's an interesting conversation too.
Yeah, and Colton's still growing.
Yep.
I've heard right now he's a little bigger than Kellen was at this point. When Kellen was a sophomore, Colton's a little bigger. We're starting to see Mom's athleticism take over for Colton, kind of make up for Dad's athletic
shortcake was
deficiencies.
A little limited.
We'll say.
Limited athletically.
It's the floor is starting to come out.
Anything Brienne did better, more athletic, smoother, taller, certainly more beautiful. Sean is just kind of the guy that he's got like the porter. Carry the bags, keep the mouth shut, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
I'm sure you won't get any text. Nothing coming.
Yeah. And, the other thing I was thinking about, this is Colton's fourth offensive position in 4 years.
Yeah.
He was an end. Then he was a halfback
That's
for
right.
us. Last year a guard. Now he's a tackle. So, I mean, they're, obviously can do a lot and stuff. And we're seeing his feet get a little lighter. We saw some of those moves off the edge and stuff on defense. But I think, he'll be the, won't be any drop off no matter who's there.
We're going to do our very best on this podcast. When you see these explosive plays and you see the, Football Friday hitting Garrison Cruz, deservedly so, or hitting Ethan Gray, all those guys deserve all that. But, man, it's got to start somewhere in this offensive line. Todd Spangler, Coach Howe, Nick Miller, Box. I mean, they got a group there, a coaching group there that they don't get they don't talk about those guys on Football Friday. Where's number 60 at? I mean, Nick's bringing in the donuts and the little Debbie cakes and the fudge rounds, and he gets into that. Like we got a fudge rounds and some moose pies, moon pies. Like, can we talk about what you did? He got all excited about the fudge rounds. Offensive line, I think, really good. Anxious to see week 2. Second storyline from this game, the explosives really showed up. The stars really showed up. the stars really showed up, and we've had stars, and there's been stars, but man, I don't know that how many stars? 1, 2, 3, like Ethan Gray, Garrison Cruz, Jackson Lonizak, Isaiah Badenhop, Jack Badenhop, just all over the place.
Yeah.
All of them single-handedly carrying an offense, in my view. Even Isaiah Badenhop, you put him in halfback if you got nobody else.
Right.
He's very rugged, tough guy, 71-yard touchdown. Jack Badenhop, you want to say they're still battling at the quarterback position because I think, I do think that Perry does give you a pocket presence, a senior. He's still in there, 1-for-1 touchdown.
Yeah.
But Jack Badenhop really flashed. I don't know that people are really, other than what we're talking about. Garrison Cruz, a 5-rush, 105, on 5 carries, a 54-yard touchdown, and just got a little nibble of Jackson. A little nibble run, little nibble throw, and then we decided to give those guys a break. But, Jesse, where do you start and where do you end with this offensive group?
First thing I was going to ask you, what do you do? Your kid's not playing yet either. I mean, what do you do? I have no clue how you stop this. You better have some athletes on the outside and then stack the box. I mean, I think that's what if you run up some. And Ethan Gray really wasn't much of a factor on the offense Friday night.
I don't know.
Not his fault. I think he had 2
plays.
carries, nothing he did wrong. But and then you sit there and you have the pass covered up on Jack's second touchdown round. And they covered. We were on the guy in the flat, and the 10-yard out, and then the 7 cut. They had that covered all night. It wasn't there. People yell, throw the ball at Jack. It wasn't. I'm up there. It's not there.
Well, let's just look at and again.
And then he takes off and runs for. It's like.
Okay.
You do what you're supposed to do, and then this kid just going to go run for a touchdown.
I will say, and then I don't want to cut you off. I want to add to what you're saying.
Yep.
There were 2 great throws he made. 2 big league throws that we dropped. And you know what? Quite frankly, we're gonna brag about players, but we can also be honest.
Yeah.
The ball he put on Jackson Lonzak on the sidelines were okay. That was gear 3 on the arm because that went right. I don't know that Jackson was ready for that one.
No,
got into his. We can all say, well, the hand got make the catch. I think you got to catch that ball, and I think the ball he threw to Tatum Murdoch
was really good.
Whoa. Yeah. It was right. It was a beautiful.
There was good coverage on that too,
for sure. And Tatum kind of won. He won that route, just couldn't finish. Those are 2 additional great throws that. What the quarterback looked like to you? It was a pretty good night for the quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. And I had a good line on the Jackson on the sidelines. I think he was so worried about getting both feet in. He had both feet ready that I think it just got into his body a little bit. That happens, but yeah,
the old coach just making it nicer and sweeter. You coach these guys.
Catch the ball, right?
Catch the ball. And if he just got his, come on, coach. No, listen. Probably concentration, but I think what the thing I'm thinking, that ball was on him.
Ooh,
that was a bullet on 3rd and long, and that was legitimate throw.
Yeah, and the one over the top to Murdoch, where you see where that defender was draped on him as Jack is making that choice, and he still saw it and got it there. I was like, nah, okay, that was a good throw. You know what I mean? Like, we do that all the time, but it was there. Yeah.
Well, and again, we get the touchdown pass from Max Perry, which I don't know who was covering what.
Oh, go watch that play. We just faked it to 30, and like
jumped
11 guys are flying up.
Jumped on it, and it was a good throw. When you got a guy that wide open, you have seen, Jesse, in your day watching football, guys choke that throw.
Yep.
That was a beautiful throw by Max Perry, and I look exactly what I thought was Isaiah Badenhop in the open field and what he's going to bring to our special teams. How many times could he touch the ball for us and be really, really good?
And unfortunately, he's probably not going to
touch it much. Right.
That kid should get 5 to 7 touches a game, right?
Anywhere else, he is a top offensive weapon.
Yes, he's going to be probably number 3 or 4 for this team.
Yes.
Now there's going to be weeks he might be your 1, right? He'll have some of his weeks, but yeah, it's crazy right now the talent they got. And I'm going to go back to Max a little bit. Jack right now seems to have the upper hand, but you're 1 play away from
for sure
Max. You got to be ready.
Yeah.
So, I think coaches will do a good job of keeping him focused, into the game. And I think Max is fine, too. He has a role on this team. He's kicking. He's doing other things. He's playing some defense.
Playing some rover.
Yeah. So there's a role for him. And
I don't think that's a blowaway. I don't think that.
No.
I don't know that Jack Badenhop is the runaway winner to that. I actually believe that Max Perry still offers a pocket passing, big arm, senior.
Yeah.
I think that does matter. You guys have all been seniors. You know what that's like. So I think that there's a couple competitions left in this offense. But the one thing I did was watching, because, of course, Baxter Barrett is my kid, and he's got that ACL, but he is going to come back, and he's going to play football this year. little like Aaron Schaefer did with an ACL, and a little bit like Matt Vollmer did. A lot of McGuire Vollmer did that. I think Baxter got a very strong knee, very stable. Went to Frogomini today and said, "Hey, it looks good. Get the quad ready and go play," which we're excited about. But Ethan Gray gives you a great halfback. So I mean, I want to say Baxter's really missed, and he probably is. But Ethan back there. But it does take away from the balancing of the field a little bit as a wide receiver, too. Like, he is an elite wide receiver. Is he not?
Oh, my God. His hands. Oh. I went and watched two of them 7-on-7s, and it was like quarterbacks could make a bad throw, and Ethan will make them look good. He just goes and gets it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen his hands. They're like this big on mine. He's like 6 foot, and his hands are – and he just uses them. Strong hands. Does what you're supposed to do as a receiver and attacks the ball.
To me, I think that Ethan Gray is a great dimension as a halfback too, because he got speed.
Oh yeah.
You saw that at Perkins. He's more rugged than you think.
Ooh.
You think he's kind of like a guy that's a finesse, but he's not. I mean, he can get in a crowd, push a pile. I mean, Ethan Gray, I think, shows up a lot on an offense when we get him the football.
Yeah, I think we couldn't quite get him going on some of those 6-7 traps.
Right.
He turns the corner just a little bit and gets a cutback lane at all, and he slashes as well as anybody on the team. So I think we'll see that. But.
Garrison Crew, Jackson Lonzak, Jesse, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm watching these guys, and they just walk on the field, and then you look at the defense, and they're just like demoralized. Garrison Crew's could have ran for 550 yards in a game. Maybe have been Rex Lindgren 40 carries for maybe 800 yards. I mean, no one on that field was going to really match up with speed, the ruggedness. You can't get him down. I mean, Tenor had some guys that could tackle and they could play.
Yeah.
Garrison Cruz is next level way runs football.
It's just, and they're going to have a lot of them games.
Oh, yes.
And they're going to have games where people their goal is to stop number 30, and then you're going to have all this other stuff going. And him and Jack, I mean, it's.
The size, the explosiveness.
It's like they're like MAC Big Ten football players playing Division VI football. And that's what it looked like Friday night. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like. Like that poor freshman running back, my God.
And he's going to be good.
He's going to be really good.
You watch him in the preseason, the pregame, and he was in the preseason games, he was like, well, that guy can run. He's good.
He's electric. But number 18 is 6'1" with arms that hang to his ankles and is really fast and explosive.
I don't know what you guys can pick the most explosive, impactful play of the game. That might have been.
Yeah.
And I think the game was in hand by then, but they were trying a few things.
Yeah.
And then that happened, and then the trying was over.
Yeah,
trying was done.
The thing I liked on that, the play before was run off tackle, and Jackson kind of went a little too shallow, and he was able to get hooked, and they got through for their second biggest play of the night, a 5-yard gain.
5-yard
you
run.
know, people around me.
That was their explosive.
People around me are going crazy. They're throwing popcorn. What are we doing?
What is wrong with Matt Bryan and his terrible defense?
Right.
Just settle down. Jackson didn't show a whole lot of motion, but you could see he was down a little bit on that one, and then came in the very next play. So the tight end was supposed to help with Kellen. This is the Kellen Weimer effect on that. He was supposed to help with Kellen and then probably scrape to Jackson. And he took one step towards Kellen, took his eyes off Jackson for 1 second, and all of a sudden, boom, gone. You know what I mean? And
there was no scraping.
Yeah. And
it was scraping people off the ground, but not scraping off of.
Correct.
And his closing speed, that kid, he could barely. All he could do is try and turn his hips a little bit, and unfortunately, he was there. Perfect rugby tackle.
I don't mean to get into the. If you watch everybody had to watch that play 100 times, but the thing that stuck out to me. Jackson is he's a highly intelligent, high IQ guy.
Yes.
34 ACT, blah, blah, blah. Whatever he is. But he has the ability to be super patient and stalk. He's not like Eric Weimer wants you to attack the line of scrimmage and bring violence. He's creeping, watching, and then all of a sudden, shot out of a gun, and you saw what happened. An explosive hit. Without really doing a ton of running. He reads it, and then he gets to the point of attack.
And that's what me and Jigs were talking about up there. It was this wasn't a kickoff, where he has a 50-yard head start.
This was 7 yards.
It wasn't even 7 yards. It was like a 4-yard burst. I'm like, oh my gosh, man. Yeah. I mean, that hurt up there. And we hope the kid's good, right?
No, for sure.
We're not here to, talk about it a whole lot or put anything on that kid. We hope he's all right because, like you said, he is. Boy, you're going to be hearing that name for the next, 4 years. So. But yeah, Jackson, it's another level. With him and Gary, just how quick they close. There's gonna be games where I don't ever feel bad for the opponent, but you kind of feel bad for the opponent because that's men versus boys.
I went to the restroom and I could hear that hit from the stall.
Yeah,
the door was like, you got a 5.1 earthquake. I mean, that was a serious football play to finish up on the defense. I love Brady Badenhop. You talked about it. You nailed it. That guy can tackle.
Oh,
he is so good. Gosh, what could that guy have been had he not been behind some of the best defensive players anywhere? Brian, send him to Wasion. He's all league every year.
Yep.
Great open field tackler. You nailed that. And Jackson had 9. And Easton Flory in that Mike position looked really good.
Really good.
He looked like a starter, like he was ready. He almost a little bit of a shadow of Max Walker.
Yeah.
Like has that width in the hips, gets in a position. Did a really good job. Multiple plays that are at the line of scrimmage. Like, I thought Easton Flory was pretty good in there.
Kind of nasty in there, too.
A little bit.
Yeah. Like, he's got a little bit of that Max in him. They're starting to bring it out. Yeah, I liked what I saw from Easton. I was asking for the stats at one point. I don't know how many tackles he ended up with.
6.
But, yeah, I mean, he had 2 on kickoff. He was you liked what you saw with him and Henry in that A-gap trying to replace Logan and Max. We don't want to talk about the past, but that's what you're doing. And, my gosh, they looked really good Friday night.
Linebackers were better than I anticipated. I mean, you knew what you were going to get out of Cruz. I mean, at this point, it's almost like load management for those guys.
Yeah.
But Spangler, and you start adding Jack Ward, and you start adding Pablo. You start putting guys in there like these. There's a lot of talent back there they're not going to get a bunch of snaps until this thing's in the bag. Right. Linebackers look good. Young linebackers look good to me.
Yeah, and Easton getting those. He's got to go through a lot to get there. B gap to B gap and stuff. So the fact he was able to get skinny a few times, had the right amount of speed and power to kind of take on some of those guards and centers and stay with it. And man, that's a good element to have.
I think Cole Spangler too is going to be heard from.
Yeah,
he looked really good in special teams. He's kind of a bruiser beast, kind of tough guy. He kind of is in that Easton Flory. Maybe not the most fastest or the biggest or the guy that's going to do all the combine stuff cool, but you watch him on special teams. He gets through his blocks. He's right there laying the wood to people. He's gonna be a good football player. He is a good football player.
He is. He's a coach's dream to me.
He is.
I think Cole could probably go anywhere from center to guard to tackle to end to
wing
to
whatever.
half to full.
Tight end. What can't he play?
That's what I mean. If I'm a coach, you talk about chess pieces. Cole's one. Even defensively, he could do a lot of different things. Cole Spangler's a tough kid. Again, another kid that's probably not going to play as much on offense or defense as he would other places because you got some dudes in front of you that are really good. But, man, they're going to find spots for him. He's going to make plays for us all year long.
Our special team's really good. The Peters kid got a chance to play Reggie's kid. Yeah. He looked good on coverage and kind of his body grown up a little bit. He looks pretty good. I mean, and you know what you're going to get out of the stars.
Yeah.
But these other guys, that was the story for me to watch them play. I liked the way he played.
I did, too, and him and Silvas got a chance at their first team all receivers, and the Reynolds kid that runs that out or whatever it is, and Ralston's stride for stride, push up to the side. I mean, I was like, whoa.
Technically sound. Sophomore plays on your special teams. Punt returner.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot going on with those younger players.
I thought not to cut you, I thought that sophomore class was what showed up to me, man. I was like, holy cow, first game. You got Asher Miller making 8 tackles on kickoff.
That dude I don't know. I mean, I coached Asher Miller and you probably all did.
I did too.
And he was a little kind of awkward and goofy a little bit.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like that.
No, he always had a little bit of athleticism, but it was always like, okay, Ash, you got to go here. The special teams thing, that's going to be his niche for a little bit here. Now, Asher's a kid.
Well, the Ward boy. I mean, he shows up.
Landon Ward.
Landon Ward looked really good too. So there's just a lot of good that comes out of a 61-0 as we head into the break. Liberty Center completely dominating. So many good performances. Again, the top line players, you got exactly what you expected, but it was all that depth and all the fun and the positions still trying to be won, and the Tate Parasinis and Brady Badenhops, those were a lot of fun to watch. So we'll wrap up the Tenora game. Liberty 1-0, 61-0, and that game was gone in the first possession. We'll get to Eastwood here in the second half.
Crossbuck Construction Company, providing exceptional quality for our clients for over 20 years. Call 419-966-9341 for details. Demolition. We handle the tough stuff so you don't have to. Our demolition service is all about safety and efficiency. Whether it's old concrete, asphalt, or structures, we've got the tools and the skills to clear the way for your new projects. Hauling services. You have debris? We'll take it away. Our hauling service with our dump trucks are ready to remove and transport materials from your site, making your construction or cleanup projects hassle-free. Residential Concrete. Your home deserves the best. We provide top-notch concrete services for driveways, sidewalks, patios, and more. Expect a perfect finish every time, adding value and curb appeal to your home. Commercial Concrete. Strong foundations for your business. Our commercial concrete services are tailored for durability and precision. From large foundations to flat work, we ensure your commercial space stands on solid ground. Excavating and site prep, digging done right. Our excavating services are all about precision and care, whether it's for foundations, landscaping, or drainage installations. We ensure your ground is prepared perfectly for what's next. Drainage Solutions. Keep water away the right way. Our drainage solutions are designed to protect your property from water damage. We assess, plan, and implement effective drainage systems, ensuring long dryness. Here's some of our Crossbuck construction statistics. 55 years of experience, 1,216 yards of concrete poured, and over 3,000 tons of material moved. Call Crossbuck Construction at 419-966-9341 for details, or go to Crossbuck.co to get a free quote.
I love it when we quote how many thousands of pounds of concrete this guy is pouring. Good grief, man. I think those numbers are inaccurate, Mark. Last year's numbers, I'm guessing they're double. Nate's put in a full summer working 22 hours a day and just eating nails every day of the week. He came up and gave me a hug on the field afterwards. I'm like, hey, man, I'm not comfortable. Like, I'm just like, it's a cement block. I'm hugging a cement block. But I want an update on the pounds of concrete, Nate. We need that probably into the teens of thousands. But Eastwood, week 2, this one looks a lot more interesting to me. I thought Tenora could do something. They didn't. Eastwood looks like they are going to do something. They did a little bit to us last year early, and I think coming off a game like Tenora, they were in a very good game against Kenton, 28-20 W. Their quarterback, Braden Luthart, he's a really good one. He was the wide receiver, I think, last year that turned into a quarterback. His brother got hurt. And once his brother got back, those two were a dynamic 1-2 punch on offense. This is an Eastwood team that was 8-3 last year. I think it was the first year they hadn't won a playoff game or something like that. I mean, this is a team that is a lot of tradition. They win a lot of football games. 8-3, finished second for the third straight year in their conference. Sam Cotterman is a really good football coach. This is it's a program that runs a 4-3, probably a 5-3 against us. Heavily reliant on the quarterback. They finished second, I think, the last 3 years in the Northern Buckeye Conference. Always a factor in the playoffs. It's a good program, Jesse. They do a lot of good things, and when you watch them on film, you have 17 returning starters. I mean, there's a lot of confidence in that locker room at Eastwood. They're at home, and I think Sam, after last year's second half, has a lot to prove. I think he has a lot on this game. 10 straight winning seasons. Sam is 28-8. I mean, I know that Casey's 116 and like 3. But that's ridiculous. But Sam Cotterman, they're doing some things at Eastwood. Right. Their program is in good shape, even when I know he's disappointed in the second place finishes. I know that playoff game they got drilled by Oak Harbor they got beat, but they drilled Oak Harbor in the mid-season, drilled them 42-6, and then got beat. They got beat because we would have probably seen them again.
Yeah.
But what overall Eastwood program? You've been around coaching a long time. This is a good program, and it's got tradition in it.
This is a program that's very good, and the thing that stands out to me is, like, you know, we're raving about our athletes. These guys always have athletes too.
They got them.
I mean, they always have athletes that can compete with you, and they're you watch them on film, and it's like, okay, you know, you're going to get some resistance. They're going to hit you back. They're going to come out and play hard. And like you said, 28 wins in the last 3 years.
That's pretty good.
I mean, my God, that's not bad at all.
That's pretty good.
Just under 10 wins a year. So you're going, you know what you're going to get. Now the quarterback, we're not going to go too much right now, but he's a good player.
He is.
He's an athlete. He can make
plays. He's as good of a quarterback until week 10. We'll see in our schedule.
Yes, I would agree with that.
He might be better than week 10. He'd be right there with Archbold's quarterback. That's how good this kid is.
He is really good with some playmakers on the outside. So this will definitely be our our toughest matchup here so far this year. I thought Tenora was going to give us a little more.
I did too.
They did have a couple nice receivers who had some stats last year, but I think that shows you the difference between the NWAL in the GMC football wise.
For sure.
You know,
there's
I mean,
big
there's nothing
separation
against
there.
the GMC.
Of course not.
They're a nice team.
Well, Fairview just did it to
Fairview,
Wasion.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there's teams that can do it, but I just think Eastwood, the athletes that they year in and year out put out, and, you know, it's not even just necessarily football. Like I've had to watch, you know, the volleyball team a little bit. They have girl athletes they always have some athletes over there. I don't know where the heck they get them all. They're all big and strong, you know, and you're going to have a matchup. Our cornerbacks, I think, will have
snipers.
They'll have their
snipers.
toughest matchup. It might be tougher than anything they faced last year, if you want me to be honest.
I agree with
maybe
you.
Archibald. You know what I'm saying?
with you.
In the playoffs, we didn't see anything like this, athletically.
No, we did not.
You know, now
We thought Liberty Benton maybe, but
you know,
the Eastwood team's got more juice
they
offensively.
They do. They got more. Liberty Benton was banged up too a little bit, but I just think what you're going to see from them is they're going to try to spread us out. And I'm anxious to see our corners and their wide receivers, Scott. That's you know what I mean. Our corners are legit. They're really good. You watch Isaiah Bainhop last week. You know, they tried to run that bubble screen. And Isaiah's so tight because he knows I'm guarding you and you can't run behind me. So when they run that bubble screen and they try to get the tackle out to block him, Isaiah's right on his hip. There's no angle for the lineman to make that block. He ate it up all night. You know, if you can't run by our corners, you're in for a long night because they're going to get up after you.
I think we talk about the speed and the athleticism. Isaiah Bainhop is as gritty and as tough as pound for pound as anybody on our football field.
He's physical.
And you watch him play basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Jack Bainhop. I know Michael Jordan want to be like Mike, blah, blah, blah. I love Jack. Love him. But this Isaiah Bainhop cat, he is physical.
Yeah.
He plays fast.
Very fast.
He has no fear. He's
we
fast,
watched
physical,
return
no fear.
punts.
I know it.
Oh, man.
That guy he got hurt in this game last year, I think.
Jaw
banged up, and he got, blood dripping from his face. He gets back in a week or two. Foster comes in, does a great job. And Sonnenberg, of course, he was an elite sniper. So I think, James, this Eastwood team presents a myriad of challenges that I'm not sure this schedule does that.
Right.
I don't think this schedule up until week 10 provides, as Jesse has said, the number of athletes on the perimeter, a bunch of 4'7", 4'6", 4'5", 40 guys. There's about 5 of them. They just make plays in space. What are you seeing on Eastwood?
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about the program. Probably one of the most. They've been a little bigger than us, so we haven't matched up with them in the playoffs over the years. But they're probably. I know OG has dropped off a little bit, but when I think of about that size, as steady as it's been in the last 25, 30 years, I think of Eastwood. They got there once, lost to Wheelersburg, familiar foe and stuff. But I kind of thought, seeing some of the stuff, I kind of thought they were Tenora 2.0. I was hearing a lot of the same things. 17 returning starters, like to throw the ball. I think they showed last week against Kenton. They're not going to run the ball. They didn't run. They couldn't run it on Kenton. They're not going to run it on us. So they're going to have to figure some other stuff out. And last year, you mentioned so they got to Isaiah a few times because remember Roars
young
went out,
but young player last year, but
really,
fearless, but young,
but learned.
And he was there.
Learned.
They caught him on a little slip screen, and he was there and just didn't quite get it. Then they got him down the field. That was when Roars went out, so he stepped in, and now obviously he's kind of a lockdown guy, but so I do think they'll be looking to go all over the field. I don't think between tackles maybe to set some stuff up, maybe some screens, I guess, if they think they can get it. But man, we read screens well too, and we're big. But I look for them to attack, and they showed that against Kenton. They could attack the flats, they can send it deep. They're not scared to send guys in the middle. They have a lot of guys that'll get in the hook and they'll sit there and wait. And quarterback, I think he's become a better pocket passer. Last year, he had a scrimmage in a game before us, I think. So he was a little, and even then he showed poise.
He did.
I mean, he's a special mention All-Ohio basketball player. Good athlete and stuff. He showed poise. He wasn't just looking to tuck it and run at the first sign of trouble or whatever. But he looked a little more comfortable in the pocket, I think. And they gave him a good pocket. We'll talk about their line. They're kind of some bulldogs that just give him a little time, and then he can make some plays with his feet, extend some plays, not to the point of like a DJ Newman, but that's kind of what I thought. I was like, man, it's hard to play pass defense for 5-6 seconds.
You're right.
When a quarterback can step up, shuffle, and it doesn't look to just run. It looks to get it down the field. I think that'll be tough, something to look at. But.
Braden Luthart is their best athlete. I mean, we can go back and forth and discuss Cam Shoemaker. We'll have that discussion, but I think this entire offense, they're very quarterback centric. A lot of things rely upon. He does scramble. He does create, and he's like almost like a Ben Roethlisberger. He gets that extra 3 seconds outside the pocket. That offensive line, although they have 3, I think, first-year starters, they are good enough to give him the time that he needs. I think that Sam Cotterman does a heck of a job coaching routes and discipline.
Yeah.
This offense is really good, Jesse. I mean, they do a lot of. They don't run the football.
No.
They're not going to do that. I mean, they're gonna hand it off, and they're going to get some carries, and they're going to do a few things, but they're not. Braden Brown, I think, ran for 600 yards last year. That's not what they do. But I'm talking about the quarterback, Braden Luthart. I think he's an X factor. He reminds me a little bit of the Archbold quarterback of last year, probably plus on the mobility.
Yeah, a little quicker.
He's got a big arm too. He can get
it. Yeah.
He can throw it, and he's a junior. Talk about their quarterback and a little bit what you're seeing on their offense.
And I'm with you. And they're going to use, I think they're going to pass as they run. So you're going to see a short pass game,
bubbles and
all that stuff,
swings.
and try to get your 3 or 4 yards instead of you're not going to turn around and hand it off. And I think they know that. So you're going to see that. What I'm at, we talked about the corner, and I keep talking about our corners. I watch a lot of quick hitches, a lot of that stuff, and I don't know if that works against us. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm hyping us up too much at the cornerback position. But man, those guys just sit there on your routes, Ethan and Isaiah. But these guys
on the outside.
On the outsides. So what I'm saying
inside.
is correct. You're going to see us. You might get attacked inside. You might see Shoemaker go into the slot quite a bit.
Yes.
Come Friday night, that would not surprise me. Right, to get some matchups, maybe on a sniper, see if they can cover us, because we know what we're getting with 7 and 2. Right, Ethan and Isaiah have become lockdown corners. You better have a special athlete if you're going to get past them, and they're probably out there, and you may see them. I don't know, and maybe these guys are it. Right, but it's going to be a good matchup for those two. I just think they're going to play in between the hashes, short, quick routes, and duck before one of our outside linebackers or
that's
Murdoch
a problem.
takes your head off.
That's a problem.
No, it
that's
really
where
is.
I think that's where that short passing game. When you're got your head half here and looking for 18 or 4,
yeah,
and you're here like, do I want to catch it or do I want to defend myself?
Right.
I mean, 18's going to hunt you.
Right.
And you're not going to block him.
No.
If you think he's going to beat you to the spot, and he's going to be very physical with Cam Shoemaker. Edmund Opford, a good player
He's
too.
A good player. Yeah.
And I think this Landon Weems, you watch him a little bit in the preseason. He's got some jets, 5'6", 130. But man, can they take the physicality that Garrison Cruz is going to bring, that Murdoch is going to bring, and that Lonzak's going to bring?
And that's the question. Can they do it? I mean, you watched, when Drew,
yes,
his personal foul, when that receiver caught it and no Moss. Yeah. I'm good. I don't think 4 was anywhere near or 18. It was just Drew out there. Not that Drew can't lay the lumber too. He can, but it was eventually. All right, I see what's happening here. I'm going to catch it and get down real quick.
When we play teams that want to play this horizontal football, a little bit like the old Purdue and Joe Tiller, stretch the field, use every blade of grass. It makes a lot of sense because you're up front. It's going to be harder for them in a box to try to run. They don't run the ball. You said that, and you're exactly right, James. But we got snipers? I think they're high quality snipers in Foster and Badentop. They're really good players in there. Like Sonnenberg was elite last year, and Smith, and you just go down the line, and our sniper position has been the most underrated room in the football team the last few years. I think we're underrated again because I think tackling and hitting, our snipers and our safety and our outside linebackers are just outstanding.
And we keep stacking up first-year varsity seniors.
Yes.
Over the group last year was that.
Mason Smith, great player.
To your Jackson Bartels and some of those guys. I mean, yeah. Yeah, and last year, Eastwood dinked and dunked, and they moved the ball at times and stuff. I think they're going to try that again this year. I think they might. I think we can't get frustrated with that. First downs happen. I go back to the guy next to me that was upset about five yards off tackle. Hey, they're going to get some first downs. They're going to dink and dunk. I think, but last year then they did get a couple explosive plays. We can cut those out. Like you guys talked about last week, if you can make somebody actually drive the whole field on us, not aided by our 5 penalties or whatever it was, when we do get in the red zone, that field shortens up, and those hitting lanes, you'll call them or whatever, from those curls and those slants and stuff are there's not that over the top threat and stuff like that. We are very dangerous in the red zone. So
you got to believe that the hitting, the way we like to hit, and that's an Eric Weimer thing, and that's a defensive thing, and they talk about that, and they reward that. Legal hitting, as Rex might call it.
Yes.
Was it legal hit? What did he call that? I don't know.
Legal pain, legal violence.
Legal violence. Whatever it's called, we
Right.
prescribe to it. We reward that, and we're hunting that. I do happen to think, though, tackling, sometimes you get into the hitting and the tackling starts to be sacrificed a little bit when you hunt the big hits.
Yeah.
I think this week's got to be a tackle week. We got to get guys to the ground. Yeah.
Well, and you're exactly right, because you go for the big hit on number 2 and you don't get it. He can go.
Big gain.
It's a touchdown. And number 1 too is a nice looking player too. I really like Opfer.
Yeah, I think Casey mentioned just in passing, don't sleep on him as a big play guy.
Oh, I think he is too.
Yeah.
He's got the potential to do that. So yeah, we got to get him down. It kind of goes back to if you want to dink and dunk, there is, in every defense there are going to be some holes, but it goes back to like the old Belichick with the Giants defense. Let them catch it and then hammer them right against the Bills in the Super Bowl. It's eventually that stuff wears on you, and then the arms get a little shorter, and so does the courage. We'll see if we go that route. But like you said, if you don't wrap some of these guys up, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they got some
They're
guys that
really
can run
good in the
with our
open
guys.
field.
Oh, man.
They really are. They look like some Ethan Gray type players
do.
out there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if they're as physical as Ethan. Ethan's pretty physical.
He is.
But we got Isaiah and Ethan on each side. And they get past them. I don't think they're going to catch them.
Well, and
They got some guys that are going to go.
Even that second group, you look at the Brody Jakeways, and all those players are sitting there, are really good players. Like Foster, probably one of the fastest guys on our football team, but all these guys can tackle and they can hit. Their offensive line, I kind of did a little bit of a deep dive. I think the combined starting guys, I think they were averaging 6'1", 267, and that center is a good player. The Grady Grulich, best offensive lineman, number 54, 6 foot 285, and not a heavy 285, like a guy that can move and get on you, and good feet, and a guy that really anchors that offensive line. 3 first-year starters, but when you watch them, they really, would you call them much of bulldogs? They really get off the ball. Mm-hmm. They get up into their blocks. You don't see anybody shying away from physicality. This offensive line is better than last year, in my view, for Eastwood.
And they're not looking for pancakes. They're not looking for dry blocks. They're looking to occupy you for a while because they know their quarterback needs enough time, and if you want to go that way, they'll just ride you out and know that their quarterback is athletic enough to step up and find his lanes and get it there, and hopefully they can buy him 4 or 5 seconds to find, go through his progressions and stuff. But yeah, like I said, we had a few of those on Tenor, a little undersized but tough and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think going back to our offense, I think that was good to see too, because sometimes the really big guys, yes, it's harder to drive block them out of there, but it's easy to occupy them and stuff. These guys we've been seeing in the scrimmages, their defensive line was able to get off blocks pretty easy. I thought we held our blocks pretty well, kind of going back to that, but yeah.
8 offensive starters back. As we look to the defense, to wrap up the offense, Jesse, they have experience. Sam Cotterman is a very good offensive coordinator. They are loaded to the gills with really good offensive players. They get to the perimeter well. Offensive line does just enough. This Eastwood team, you say, well, Bees Barrett, you're going to sit here and you're going to sandbag again. This is a good Eastwood team.
Yeah.
They just beat a Kenton team. I think they were on the road. I think their quarterback had just broke a record for completions, 27 to 35, 3 touchdowns. Him and his brother don't throw. Last year, his brother didn't throw any interceptions. These are very good quarterbacks.
Take care of the ball.
Like 1 interception. This kid he doesn't throw interceptions.
No.
I think that's a credit to Sam getting their off. They're an offensive football team.
Correct.
They're an offensive football team. So what's going to be our biggest key to neutralize all these athletes, all this space, and a really good quarterback?
Well, can we keep everything in front? You look back to what we've done the last handful of years. It's a couple times we've gotten beaten over the top, right? Last year, Eastwood, Isaiah did. Like a second play as a varsity player.
And they went and got him. Young guy, go get it.
Yeah, go get it.
That's smart by Sam Cotterman.
Right. No, and that's what you do. But can we keep everything in front, don't let anything behind us? And then, like you said earlier, we have to tackle then. Because you go in for the kill shot with your shoulder pads and you don't wrap and he bounces, goodbye, 7 points. And you go back to this game last year, Scott, and it was I think it was 30 to 14, 34, 14 something. And they were driving to end the second quarter there. Right, and they just kind of stalled out. I mean, they were down inside our 30, 20, putting it to us, kind of making some plays, and it just kind of petered out on. But, I mean, if they put the ball in, it's 34-21, and, going to the second half, who knows?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an explosive team. Keep everything in front. Don't let them hit the big plays, right? We've talked about this. Don't let them hit the big plays. And if they do happen to get a drive going on you, when you get inside the 20, we've talked, it's tough.
Jinx talks about big games for snipers. There's some games that are big games for snipers. You play Otsego next week, they're going to run the option. Big games for linebackers.
Yeah.
It's big sniper,
Yeah.
slot, corner, safety, outside linebackers, big game for them against this very, very efficient, again, 8 offensive starters return, 17 total starters return, and an offense that's anchored by one of the best quarterbacks in Northwest Ohio. That is a formidable offense for Eastwood. Let's flip the script here and get through defense and get this thing wrapped up. Not really their strength or forte.
No.
You see this spread mentality. You've seen it for years. They're great in 7-on-7s. Take the pads off, shoulder pads and shorts. Eat the grapefruits, enjoying the sun. There's a little bit of that going on. A lot of programs. Not saying Eastwood's not tough, because Sam Cotterman is tough. Perrysburg guy, wrestler, just kind of a big, tough old football coach, smart guy. But, James, when you're seeing spread all day long and you're trying to preserve or load management the quarterbacks and the skill guys, so there's a lot of red shirts on, not a lot of violence, not a lot of hitting, those violent periods, the full hitting periods limit, this defense doesn't. I mean, they're athletic. Same thing. They got some guys that can run and do these different things, but they don't show me a lot defensively that they really want to. They're not a bunch of meat eaters. I don't know what you're seeing on defense from Eastwood, but good players, athletes. But are they hitting enough to take a Garrison Cruz in their face?
Yeah, and you mentioned Ludar. He plays free safety.
He does
for him too. So I mean, if we work in the middle, the 0-1s and stuff. And now all of a sudden you've got Kellen Weimer on the backside stalking you, and and how many of those do you want him to take, and stuff like that? Is he going to be willing to step up and take on some of those guys, some of that interference in the middle? I don't know. I'd seen a quote from Cotterman, and maybe there was some Rex Lindgren, motivational stuff, but that was one thing he said. He's like, we've got some of the tools and stuff, but are we physical enough? Are we tough enough? And maybe that was a challenge and stuff like that, but this is not the week to be doubting that or figure that. You're going to find out real quick, I guess, you could say. But I like, again, I like some of those little guys that they go low. They tackle well. They're not just dropping their head and diving, but some of those guys are a little more compact. They're a little lower to the ground.
This Gage Maccabee I watched, the 5'9", 185 sophomore. Now, that's the guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
That guy – you watch him on film. If you got a huddle film, turn that guy on. He's a sophomore, number 71. Not the biggest guy.
No.
But, man, is he a bulldog, just exactly as you talk about.
He looks like some of those Delta Wrestling
linemen. There you go.
You think you got him, and maybe you do. Maybe you're driving him 2-3 yards down the field, and then he just slides off and gets in and submarines your ball carrier for a 2-yard gain. Those are tough. Those are tough blocks, especially for a young guy. I thought – going back to Jack Ward at the center, I thought a few times he was trying to just straight manhandle some guys a little bit. I think at times he needed just to take a better step and kind of swing his hips and seal that off. There were a few times I thought the nose guard kind of was able to get off that block. So I think he gets a little better job swinging those hips and kind of seal that middle, because we didn't attack the middle too much. We didn't need to, but
I keep making reference. I was watching the Perkins scrimmage, because I was very interested in those inside guards and those young players. I mean, I think Fitzy's got this thing locked down. He's an all-league, all-district player. Not to say that doesn't have work to do, and he does, Jesse.
They all do, yep.
But he is an exceptional player, and they got him at right guard. I think they got Mason Talon at left with Easton Flory. But I was watching in there, and we struggled early with the 0-1.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We do reward and we do love the hitting and the physicality. And look at that one film. I just cleaned him up and I pancaked him.
Right.
That's not what Eastwood does.
Right.
They're willing to not do that.
Yeah.
Just get in the way, stay on the block, don't let them get away from you. Sometimes you have to do that. And those young players, I think, have a lot of work to do, because I think this defensive line's active.
Yeah.
They're not going to go toe-to-toe. But they are an active defensive line, and they're going to bring – this isn't a 4-3 team. It's a 5-3 team.
Oh, at least.
8.5.
Yeah, 5-3,
8.5, yes.
7-4, whatever.
11-3,
11, yeah.
14 guys. I mean, you're going to need them. But, I mean, I think they're athletic enough.
Yeah.
And if Sam challenges them enough to what you're talking about. That might have been an interesting thing to note. That he's like, are we tough enough? Do you think he's talking about that?
Oh yeah.
We're at home.
Yeah.
I don't know that we play them anymore. We're off contract
This
here
is
too.
it after this year. Yeah.
Because I don't think Sam liked, because the matchups were happening in the playoffs. He didn't like that.
Right.
So he didn't. I'm glad we're playing him. It's a good game, but he didn't want a lot of us, and he didn't want to show a lot. But can this defensive line and these linebackers, which I think this Landon Simon also really popped
Good
for me,
player.
flashed,
Yep.
number 55 senior, can they stand up to us, even though we're young and relatively inexperienced? Can we dominate up front? Not just with the backs and the explosives. I'm talking about 6, 9, 11, 8, 7. Can we get those here?
Right. We're kind of getting away from the old school. 4 or 5 yards in a cloud of dust. It's
35.
Jack's going to run for 71 on this one. His brother's going to run for 65 on that one. Then we're going to hit Jackson on a tight end curl, and he's going to take it 80.
It's a lot of explosive
it's a
plays.
lot. So let's see if they can. I think we can't. The thing for them with Eastwood to me is, initially a lot of teams you can. Can you do it for 4 quarters? That's kind of and that's been Liberty Center's MO since you played, since whenever Rex Slinger was in charge. It's okay. They can stand toe to toe with us maybe for a half. All right, come third quarter, we're still going that hard. Can you keep going with us? So to me, that's what it is. Now, I think we have the advantage on the line on both sides. I think we're better. But what I like about Eastwood, and we've watched film on it, you can call out other teams, and it's like, are they playing hard? I don't know. Eastwood plays hard.
They do.
They're going to play hard. They're not going to back down because it's Liberty Center. I think Liberty Center is a better football team, but I think you're going to see Eastwood come out, and they're going to challenge us, especially early.
Well, and they're at home.
And they're at home.
They're at home, and they have something to prove. They're a little bit bitter on the second places. They're bitter on that first round playoff loss against Oak Harbor. I mean, Sam Pittman, you watch I like quoting the coach.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time on frustration and, good group last year. We got unfulfilled, work to do. Right. We're not happy around here. Like, it's kind of a grouchy place around there. I think they underachieved a little bit at 8-3. Gosh, at my 0-10 85 season and 3-7 86. Can I have an 8-3? Can I have an 8-3? I mean, what are you talking about? But we are a little spoiled around here. Now, there was some years in there we got a little shoddy. We won't get into the 03 season. We won't talk about that. But as we wrap up, I love the 03 group. All right. As we wrap up, let's talk about what Liberty Center needs to do to win this game and what Eastwood needs to do this game. We'll let you, James. What does Liberty have to do to get control and win this game? And conversely, what's Eastwood have to do?
Yeah, we go back to, we covered just a little bit, the penalties. We do have to cut them down.
That would be a negative takeaway there. Very quietly, the penalties were not great.
We overcame it, and we have the ability to do that. But I think I like what Case says. We're always preparing to beat the best teams in the state, and we go into a state championship, state semifinal game, 6 penalties, 80 yards, all those. First down, automatic first down penalties too. Aside from the other stuff, that's not going to cut it. So, cutting some of those down. You like that they were aggressive penalties to a point. You hate your offsides and your stuff like that. These were kids playing hard, learning, figuring it out a little bit. I think actually the big hit of the night we missed was Easton Flory had a hit on the sidelines that should have been a penalty. We didn't get it. Their coaches were chirping on it. So then, when Gary kind of ran by him and barely touched that quarterback, they were ready for that. That flag was ready before Gary even got there or whatever. But the usual thing, I think, establish the run to set up our pass. They're going to dedicate so many in the middle, so many wherever, find our matchups and make them count. Catch our balls, make sure that we capitalize on some of that stuff over the top. For them, I do think they got to swing it. They got to do whatever they can. Going back to Tenora, they had done that a lot in even in the scrimmage. They scrimmaged Elmwood. Elmwood was able to get a pass rush, and they were able to use number 23.
Yes.
And he had swings, and they hit some screens, had stuff, and they were able to make some stuff happen. Obviously, they didn't get to show that aspect of the game, but I would look for Eastwood to see some of that and look that we're going to have to do whatever. We have to use your aggression against you. I don't know if it'll work, but I think that's got to be the plan, attack all levels of the field.
Jesse, what does Eastwood have to do to stay in this game and maybe win this game at home, and what's Liberty got to do to get this thing done and get back on the bus and get home?
Well, if Eastwood wants to win this game, they need to be able to play for 4 quarters first, like we just discussed, because no matter what the outcome, if you're going to beat Liberty Center, it's it's not going to be what we did to Sonora last week, right?
It's not.
It's not going to be that. You better be able to go. So I think Eastwood's going to have to. They're going to have to find. And the thing with Liberty's defense, even the last 3 years, it's maybe even better this year. Is where do you attack? All right, where do you attack? You got to try something. Our corners are locked down, but maybe do you try to deep ball here or there and see? Maybe get a call. Maybe your receiver makes a play. I mean, going back to the one Isaiah gave up last year, he was right with the kid.
He was.
Yeah. It's just a great catch. And so they got playmakers that can go up and challenge Ethan and Isaiah, right? They got that. But then you're going to swing it in the flats. You're going to have Gary and Jackson lurking. I don't know how much you want to do that, unless you think you can block those two, right? So, maybe you try the A. Maybe you get a little bit here, soften it up, and then you try to get something down the seams. I think someone's going to have to try that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to give away what you should do against Liberty
Wait,
Center.
did you just give something away?
Yeah,
Hold on,
I did.
wait. On a Monday? Did you just give something away?
And I'm not saying it's going to work.
800 Eastwood people on the podcast. Jesse just gave out the secret.
You got to try something. Get your favorable matchups with the Shoemaker kid.
Yes.
You got to find a matchup you like, get him, in motion on a linebacker, which our linebackers are really good, but I don't know if they're that good, or with a sniper,
Well, maybe you catch that rotation where 18's out of the game and you get a younger player and maybe athletically not the same matchup. I mean, you got to believe the guys up top are going to go 18's out, 30's out.
Yeah.
Let's check down to X because maybe we got a better matchup
100%.
on that, right?
100%. I mean, that's what you got to do. And for Liberty Center, I want to see even more development from the line.
You took it from me.
I want to see the 0-1 trap work.
Yes.
I want to see the 2-3 dive. Ethan had a couple dives and it was not good. Wasn't blocked up real well.
Right.
Tenora saw it coming, so I want to see that. And I touch on I thought our special teams I was worried. And now Max Perry doesn't kick it like Max Walker, but he's good enough with that coverage. Mm-hmm. Get it down to the 5-10, we're good. Right? And you had some hungry sophomores, a couple juniors going down there and making plays. It was fun to see.
Brian Hefflinger knows how to get people ready to play.
Ooh.
And they do. They're ready to play every week. They're good tacklers. They leverage properly. They're disciplined. It's very rare to see a breakdown on our coverage teams. I do want to see the offensive line take the next step. Yep. I will be very focused, as I'm sure that coaching staff will be very focused on this offensive line. Specifically, I'm looking for Mason Talent. Yep. I'm looking for the guard play. I'm looking for Easton Flory. I'm looking to see how Colton Weimer makes progress. Again, you know what you're going to get from Kellen Weimer. He is an absolute rock star. Henry Fitzgerald, he is outstanding. This offensive line needs to make the jump. We got to have them all. We can't just run 4 or 5 traps or 6, 7 traps and 4 or 5 powers. We got to run inside, and that's where the young guys are. And I'm anxious to see that. And lastly, I think Liberty Center has the ability to have a sustainable drive. And not that you're going to, but I mean, you do need. It would be nice to put together some 8, 9, 10 play drives. Now, how do you choke back all that horsepower? But I think Casey might be working this offensive line this week a little bit.
Yeah.
He might be forcing some plays that develop what we need to get done down the stretch of the season, which is inside run, which we didn't have a whole lot of that. Now, how good do you have to be with Garrison Cruz? I don't know how good you have to be. Maybe you can be a little bit less good because he's really good, but that offensive line and the defensive line as well, I think that was a really good strength last week. So Liberty Center at Eastwood this week. Nate Leidy, Crossbuck Construction, we're so grateful for you, and it's great to have Jesse. James, you'll be back. You're in the booth this week. Who is the team again? It's you, Brian, and Jeremy.
Yep.
I mean, that's a good team, man. Good grief. Yep. And you'll have all the regulars. We got a six-man booth. It's like CBS Sports with the captain running the show at Eastwood. Very good. Thanks, guys, for being here. Appreciate it.
Crossbuck Construction Company, providing exceptional quality for our clients for over 20 years. Call 419-966-9341 for details. Demolition. We handle the tough stuff so you don't have to. Our demolition service is all about safety and efficiency. Whether it's old concrete, asphalt, or structures, we've got the tools and the skills to clear the way for your new projects. Hauling services. You have debris? We'll take it away. Our hauling service with our dump trucks are ready to remove and transport materials from your site, making your construction or cleanup projects hassle-free. Residential Concrete. Your home deserves the best. We provide top-notch concrete services for driveways, sidewalks, patios, and more. Expect a perfect finish every time, adding value and curb appeal to your home. Commercial Concrete. Strong foundations for your business. Our commercial concrete services are tailored for durability and precision. From large foundations to flat work, we ensure your commercial space stands on solid ground. Excavating and site prep. Digging done right. Our excavating services are all about precision and care, whether it's for foundations, landscaping, or drainage installations. We ensure your ground is prepared perfectly for what's next. Drainage Solutions. Keep water away the right way. Our drainage solutions are designed to protect your property from water damage. We assess, plan, and implement effective drainage systems, ensuring long dryness. Here's some of our Crossbuck construction statistics. 55 years of experience, 1,216 yards of concrete poured, and over 3,000 tons of material moved. Call Crossbuck Construction at 419-966-9341 for details, or go to crossbuck.co to get a free quote.